Okay, we are the Saltfish Group, and I will introduce the high-level technical details of our project in this video. Uh, the first thing that I want to introduce is the technology stack of our software development. Uh, since our the web software is a website based application, so we have to develop the front end and the back end of our application. For the back end, what we are choosing to use is the Flask framework, which is a Python-based framework. We're choosing to use Flask is because that it is Python-based, which helps us to merge many other machine learning frameworks into this. The main thing we are using is PyTorch, and I will introduce maybe later. And for the front-end development, we are choosing to use this React framework, which we have to make the use of the knowledge of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. And as I've just introduced before, that we have our model use some machine learning related technologies, and so we have to choose our machine learning framework. And what we choose is PyTorch, which is one of the most popular machine learning framework in the world now. And since we don't want to train the models from scratch, we want to use the models the other ones have been trained and published on the internet, which we are using the Hugging Face packages as our machine learning uh, models library, which provides many useful APIs, so we can directly choose to use which off-the-shelf models we want to apply for the image understanding or the image captioning or the other machine, also the content understanding things. The second part I want to introduce is the details of our UI development. Our UI, from my perspective, has two different difficulties. The first difficulty is that since our users are people with visual impairment, they may be not very, it will be very difficult for them to type in the text or the questions. So we want to use voice to control our software. So we have to to understand the voice that are given and generate the answers into voice, so they can just directly hear it instead of just want to read it on the screen. So we have to back the use of two techniques. The first technique is the speech recognition, and another technique is the voice generation. For speech recognition, we are choosing to use the Google text-to-speech library. And for voice generation, we are also using the Google speech-to-text API. And these two APIs can off-the-shelf libraries can work really well, which you can see in another video, such as within a demo video. And another difficulty that I'm thinking is how we can embed the tweet information into our software. Here we're making use of the Twitter API, which helps us for developers to get directly access to the Twitter's content, such as their IDs, time, users, all the things. And for showing the tweet on our UI, we are using the tweet publisher API. If we have the tweet ID, we can directly use the get request to get the HTML code for the embedded tweet, and we can just directly merge this into our UI, so we can see an embedded tweet. And the final thing I want to introduce is our chatbot detail. And from the high level idea that our project wants to make the people with visual impairment to understand the content of the images that are in social media. So the first thing we'll try. So for one tweet, they will have two parts. The first part is the tweet content, which are directly a voice. You can use the text-to-speech API to generate into voice and read it out for the user. And for the tweet image, we'll just first pass it to a visual understanding model, which is OFA in our project, and it will give a caption that discussing the images. And for that, we will read this caption out, like the tweet content together to the user. But these are only vague and high-level descriptions. If the user want to know more detailedly about the tweet image, they will ask some questions. However, these questions are very, very complicated questions, and it will be hard for the VQ vision question answering models such as QF, OFA to understand. We have to break these complicated questions down into simple questions using a large language models. Here, what we are using is a GPT. And for these simple questions, the OFA can easily understanding them together with the inputted images and give the simple answers, give some answer to these questions, and then concat this question together into an entire program by the language model and gives the detailed answers back to the user. So this is how the algorithm or the flow of our project is doing. So that's all. Thank you.